are doing really well and having a lovely day. My name's Hayley and this is my channel SewHayleyJane. If you are new around here, I create gorgeous sewing subscription boxes. So every single month I send out beautiful boxes of beautiful fabrics, haberdashery bits, sewing gifts, that kind of thing. But today I'm here to share with you all the things that I have been making the last few months, so my spring makes. So my sewing output isn't massive, but compared to the sewing that I've done in recent years, this is actually pretty good for me. So I'm really chuffed with what I've been up to, and yeah, my sojo is just, I'm really inspired to make things at the moment. So obviously I love sewing and I love sending fabrics out to everyone, but actually having the time to sew doesn't always come easy, but that's okay. Anyway, I'll start by showing you what I'm wearing. So this t-shirt was just a ready to wear simple t-shirt from Matalan, but this is my much worn, much loved Helen's Closet York pinafore. I made this in early 2020, very early 2020, pre-Pammy D. And yeah, it's gotten a lot of worn and I definitely need to make some more. So, things that I've been making, I have my little pile here. I've only got 4 things to show you, so not huge, but enough to be getting on with. So the first thing I made, let me actually flip this over. I'll do it this way. The first thing I made was a pair of Waves and Wild Heyday dungarees. So I should put some video footage of me wearing them here. But I absolutely love these. This is my 3rd pair of adult size Waves and Wild Heyday dungarees. I have made a couple for my daughter Mia, which she won't actually wear, but that's another issue. But this one was made in a green linen that I bought from Montreux Fabrics at the Stitch Festival back at the very beginning of March. And I was specifically looking out for fabrics then that I wanted to make a pair of spring summer dungarees with. And this fabric is perfect. It's so comfortable to wear. I've worn them so much, it is already starting to show some signs of wear and tear, especially for some reason around my tummy. I think maybe when I'm cooking or stood up doing something at the desk, I think I lean against tables and desks and things like that. So there's a little bit of wear and tear around there, but never mind. So here they are. I love them so much. They've got a bib pocket on the front and then 2 pockets each at the legs on the front and on the back as well. And I added at the back my Perfectly Me label from Little Rosy Cheeks, which I absolutely love. So I made a size 2XL at the top, at the bust, and then graded, I think I graded sort of from the front, centre front, down to the crotch and at the side seams as well, graded down to a 5XL at the hips. So quite a bit of difference. I am smaller at the shoulders and definitely bigger at the hips. Now, the only thing I would urge you to do, if you do make these dungarees, which I highly recommend, they're gorgeous, the pattern tells you to do like a double fold hem of the separate bib pieces. So we've got the front bib piece and the back bib piece, and it tells you to sort of hem those pieces first and then sew up the side leg seams, which I did do on my last pair, which is a pair of black corduroy dungarees. But because there's no stability at the top of this seam here, when you're pulling them up and down over your hips, a couple of times I've ripped them and I've had to do a little fix, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fix them again. So yeah, I have to look at that. So what I did this time instead was I sewed up the side, or I actually sewed up the sort of entire dungarees bit first, except for the finishing bits at the top. and then I finished the bib by using some bias binding instead. This gorgeous bias binding was from the Specky Seamstress and was in our January 2021 boxes. They're really cute. They're like little books with hearts coming out. It was for our Oh Mr. Darcy boxes. And it was the perfect addition, and it's so much better. It just gives that side seam so much more stability, so they don't rip, which is always a bonus. But there you go. They are very loose. I probably, if I make them again, I probably could actually go down at the hips to a 4XL. Look massive, obviously, like that. But I practically live in these dungarees. I absolutely love them. And yeah, whether or not I'll make some more, like I said, this is my third pair. I have a pair in cotton poplin and a pair in corduroy, which I love for the winter. But a sticking point with dungarees is, what coat do you wear with dungarees in the winter? All the coats that I've got just don't seem to work. So I think dungarees are great as long as you don't need to wear a coat. Maybe that's just me, I'm not sure. Let me know, if you've got dungarees and you wear them in the winter, what do you wear when you go out and it's cold? Because you can layer up underneath, obviously, but you want something on top as well. Let me know. Anyway, those are my dungarees. Next up is, I actually made this specifically to go underneath the dungarees, but obviously I wear them separately as well. It is the Sew Over It Ultimate T-shirt in our gorgeous spotty stripe cotton jersey, which I do have some left over in the outlet shop, which I'll link to below. So it's this beautiful lilac cotton jersey with spots going across in a stripe in yellow, white, dark blue and pink. And yeah, it's so soft and so comfortable, and I made the Sew Over It Ultimate T-shirt, which is a relatively new pattern, and I was really, really impressed with the pattern because it's got a larger size range, and for the larger size range it includes darts at the bust to give a bit more shape. And the other thing I really liked was that it has this lower scoop neckline. There are actually 3 necklines you can choose from. There's a standard t-shirt rounded neckline, a lower scoop neckline and a V neckline, which I want to try as well. I quite often find with t-shirt patterns that the neckline comes up really high, and being bigger busted, I just doesn't look great. I don't feel like it looks great. I feel like it makes me look very boxy. But this doesn't at all. It's really gorgeous, and I made a size 20 at the bust, and then I graded out, I think off the top of my head, I graded out to a 24 at the hips. So it fits really nicely and does this really nice like curvy thing going on. Yeah, not much else to say about this. It goes amazingly under dungarees, it goes amazingly with jeans. In the winter I might pair it with a skirt, sort of tucked into a skirt as well, that kind of thing. But yeah, love that one. Okay, number 3, and there's a lot of fabric with this one. This is the Pauline Alice Ibby dress, which I made in this gorgeous Lady McElroy Magenta Haven viscose lawn, which was in our March Spring Has Sprung luxury boxes. Oh, it's so beautiful, and I love this pattern. So I went to the New Craft House Spring Fling party back in April. I think it was towards the end of April up in London. And I knew I wanted something out of this fabric, and I wanted something really, really floaty. And I was messaging with Laura, who writes for the magazine for us, and she is at Sewing Like the Wolf on Instagram, because she was also going to the party, and we were talking about what we want to make, and she directed me to the new Ibby dress from Pauline Alice, and it was perfect. So I've actually got the pattern here. It is a beastie pattern. It's huge. And the reason it's so big is because there are actually 6 different versions of the dress that you can make, which is just amazing. There's so much in this, and the sizing is really good as well. So I made a size 48 at the bust and graded out to a 52 just at the waist seam. So I made version A with the sleeves from version F. So version A has a rounded neckline, and it comes in, it's gathered just under the bust with a drawstring, and then it has a three-tiered gathered skirt. And let me tell you, those gathers, especially that final tier, oh my goodness me, that took flipping ages. One thing that I'm really glad I did was I hemmed the final tier before adding it to the rest of the skirt, because that would have just been a nightmare. But yes, so there is a lot of fabric here. This takes about, does it say here, nearly 5 meters of fabric. So yeah, there's a lot of fabric here. So not great to wear in the real height of summer because there is so much fabric, but for a nice, reasonably sunny day, it's very comfortable because it's very swishy, very loose. And so yeah, if there's a breeze, it feels lovely. One thing I noticed, I made the bodice, and before attaching the skirt, I tried on the bodice, and even without not taking the seam allowances into consideration, the edge of the fabric stopped just at my nipples. I was like, oh no, what do I do? And I've got a WhatsApp group with the lovely girls who write for the magazine, and Gemma said that she had found this with another pattern that she made, but she persevered and added the skirt, and it pulled that line down a little bit, which did happen with this. So I carried on, I attached the skirt, and it does work, but the waistline sort of, it doesn't quite go under my bust. It kind of sits just on the bottom of my bust, if that makes sense. So next time, if there's a next time I make this, I don't know if I will make it again. I feel like I should, because it's such a beastie pattern. So if I do make it again, I will definitely add a little bit of extra length to the bust. So if you're making this, bear in mind that it is, I believe, drafted for a B cup. So if you have a bigger bust, I definitely recommend just adding some extra length to the bodice before you add the skirt on. But other than that, I absolutely love it. I love wearing it so much. I always get compliments on it when I wear it because it's a bit of a statement piece. But yeah, it's really fab. So the other thing I changed was the sleeve cuffs, I believe, was a separate piece that you add, and then you add a drawstring, but I just hemmed the sleeves and then added some elastic to draw it in and make it really comfortable as well. So yeah, that is my Pauline Alice Ibby dress. It's got a dart at the shoulder seam as well, and beautiful buttons at the back, which were from Ethel and Joan. Her gorgeous, I can't remember what ones they're called, but they're really beautiful, like clear with purple and pink speckles in. So yeah, really, really pretty. So that's make number 3. And then finally, make number 4, probably my proudest make, except for the fact I can't wear them, but I'm still really proud of them. So if you've been following along, you will know that we hosted Charlotte Newland for a jeans making weekender back in May, I had to remember then, which I attended as well, and because jeans is something I've never had the guts to make on my own, so I was really, really excited to take part and to do this. And yeah, here they are. and I'm so proud of them. I absolutely love them. And they do fit. They're just a little bit too tight when I sit down. And I think if I make them again, I might need to add a little extra to the seat depth, because when I sit down in them, it's not a great look, shall we say. A little bit too much is showing. But yeah, I'm still super proud. I inserted a zip. They've got this gorgeous waistband and pocket lining using the cherry cotton poplin that I included in the May boxes. So it all looks really lovely. It's all finished beautifully. All the top stitching is just gorgeous. I didn't have enough time to do any top stitching on the pockets, so instead I added a Stitch Witch label as like a little flag label, and they were from Sew Anonymous. So when we started, Charlotte measured us all, and I think there may have been a little mismeasurement. I don't know, maybe I sucked my tummy in too much. But she measured that I was going to be a size 18 at the waist and a size 28 at the hips. So that's a pretty big difference. And we made the toile and obviously tried it on, and the waist did not fit. I couldn't do it up. So yeah, I think in hindsight, I probably think I'm a size 22 at the waist and then grading out to a 28. Is that right? Yeah, 28 at the hips. Because that's a big amount to try and grade between waist and hips. So I'm not sure where that went wrong, but we fixed it. Charlotte did the thing where she sort of slashed open the sides and added a bit of fabric to figure out how much we needed to extend it by. And yeah, that was all lovely and made up the final piece. We realised though that I actually needed to take in the waistband seam. So Charlotte very sweetly adjusted the pattern piece for me, ready for if I make them again. So you cut two, and then there is a seam at the centre back. So what Charlotte has done is slashed and reduced the top edge of the waistband seam for me, so that it just sucks it in a little bit more at the very top, because I've got a bit of a sway back. But other than that, I didn't have to do any other adjustments, which was really nice. I thought maybe I'd have to do some adjusting in the bum or the thighs or that kind of thing. I went for the skinny legs, which once I tried them on, there was still a lot of ease in the legs, so we took them in. But actually, I think I would probably make the straight leg version next time anyway, or not take them in at all, because I don't know if it's because we took them in that I can't sit down in them. They're very tight to sit down in. So we'll see. I definitely want to make some more, because it feels really empowering to make your own jeans and to make them fit your body. So it just needs a couple of extra tweaks, and then I think I've got it. But I'm not so scared anymore. Whether or not I remember how to do it all is another matter, but I know I can do it now, so that's the good thing. Anyway, that is all the things that I have been making over the last few months. Check out my video from last week where I talk about my plans for the summer. I'd really love you to give that a watch as well. And remember to, if you enjoyed this video, give it a little like, and if you don't already subscribe, that would be amazing as well. I hope you have a wonderful day, everyone, and I will see you all really soon. Bye.